Hey guys, this is OddOneGaming. This is going to be another Dragonheir SilentGods video. In today's video, we're going to be talking a little bit about the Grave of Curse. I did mention in the past, in a video, the fact that the Grave of Curse, at least from my point of view, and I've talked with some other people, but this one's actually kind of like one of the last ones that you want to farm, as it does not have the best gear sets in the game from my point of view. However, there are some interesting ones. There's two sets, one that basically gives you HP, defense. If I do move myself, that's gonna help. But one that gives you HP percent, defense percent, and also the wearer takes most like 15% of the damage from your whole team, and then they receive 15% less damage. And then the other one that gives you HP and Enlightenment, and this one heals the hero by 20% of their max HP when they unleash their ultimate skill. So this one can be good, for example, for somebody like a Sephiroth. That's what I'm thinking, because she sacrifices HP all the time, so every time she does her ultimate, she can do this one. And then the other one, obviously, on any tank or any support that you want to be tanky. But that's pretty limited and pretty rare. You're not gonna have that many tanks, that many supports that you're gonna want to stack all of these ones. Most of the time, you prefer to have the other sets that give you more skill haste, they give you more, attack, they give you more accuracy. So that's why I believe these are not the best. However, we have the tournament going on today for the, Imperial Shadow Recast event. We have the Shadow Dungeon right now, number 2, and it actually is the Grave of Curse. So I said, you know what, I had to do it myself, so let me have a look at the team. And while I'm looking at the team, let me see if I can make a free-to-play version of this team for stage 7, 8, or 9. Well, I thought about, let me, instead of just doing stage 7, let me see if I can do stage 8, because by this point in the game, you should already be getting legendary gear from the Grave of Venom. You should already be starting to getting positive runes from Heretical Ruins and negative ones from Ancient Battlefield, at least epic, if not lots of legendaries. So I said, you know what, let me just go and have a look at this one. And I kind of came up with a team that, from my point of view, looks free-to-play friendly, okay? Because, well, we have the free Hexandra as a healer and kind of a tank that everybody has. We have the Adventurer as fire, only level 91, didn't even give him more levels. Then we have Erich, which again, by the time the Imperial Shadow Recast happens, and by the time you're watching this, you should already have an Erich. He's basically in there just for DPS. And if you do not have Erich, just bring your best damage dealer. That's all you need. The Erich slot is going to be your best damage dealer. So if you don't use Erich, maybe you have somebody like a Shalter. Maybe you have somebody like whoever is your best damage dealer in the game that you have built, apart from your adventurer, I'm guessing, just bring them in that team. And then we have two other rares that kind of help us with the mechanics of the boss. One of them is going to be Jarena, and the second one is going to be Irina. Okay, so the reason why Irina, for example, is in this team is because on her ultimate, she dispels one buff from when she does the ultimate, and she also lands attack penalty too. Basically, you want somebody in the team that has attack penalty, so even if you don't have it in Irina, in the same person that removes buffs, you want to have somebody that does attack penalty too before the boss does the big slam. So you always want to have that one land. And then we have Jarena, which removes the buffs on basic skill. Every third basic skill dispels one buff, and also she brings a shield. It's not the craziest. Obviously, if I gave her more HP, like level up some more stuff, she might have been better. But one thing that I actually noticed and that I learned that's pretty funny is the fact that when the boss does this big slam, is if you have shields on, the damage that he does, it's obviously going to be reduced on your actual HP, and it's going to reduce the value of his shield. So the bigger shield you have before he does the damage, the lower his shield is going to be. And for example, in this team, I don't have any shield remover. Let's just play it through so you see exactly what I'm talking about. So he just does some basic attacks, nothing too crazy on this one. Then when he does this side, he gains attack up and damage up, which you kind of want to dispel. And as you saw, I used my Jarena and my Irina, and they both dispelled. So when the boss does this big slam, over here, you want to have attack down and no buffs on the boss. And look at this. Just a tiny shield, because we had that shield ourselves and because the boss has the decreased attack. And after that, by the time it gets back to this one, we already powered through the shield. Just by doing the raw damage, we already powered through that shield. I get the shield back up ourselves. And let's see, Jarena basic attack. Remove the buff again. Boom, again, not that big of a shield. So that's the way that I kind of build this team. So normally you would have something like you would try to bring a shield remover. But if you can just remove the boss's buffs before he does that shield, before he does this big smack, the vampiric shield, if you remove his buffs, and then if you have a decreased attack in there, just bring damage, keep yourself a bit of sustain, and you should easily be able to do this. Like, I'm kind of surprised that it worked this way. And yeah, I'm really happy with the results so far. I did have Sigrid instead of average, but you know what, the missus told me, and she had a point. It's like, just try to use somebody else, because you show Sigrid in every single video, and I guess, yeah, that's true, but at the same time, as I mentioned in some of my previous videos, guys, it's not as easy to just keep building people so I can showcase them, because you know what, this is my main account. I do not have access to a test server yet, so that I can easily test stuff. So that's why I have to build some people on my main account without breaking the progress of it, because I'm in a competitive clan. So I have to, you know, keep my endgame people built, but at the same time have some people built that help me, you know, showcase some things for you guys. But you know what, this is yeah, this is working pretty fine. This is working pretty well. There's lots of other options that you can bring in this team. So for example, let's say you don't want to use Jorana, you can bring, instead of Jorana, you can bring what's his name, Grover. Okay, Grover is another amazing one, because he has on his ultimate, he removes 2 buffs, like he steals actually 2 buffs, so you can bring Grover instead. He also steals the enemy ultimate energy, which obviously is going to make the boss go slower, which means you can bring somebody else in the arena spot that brings you decreased attack and then more damage. So for example, you can bring a Sigrid if you bring somebody like I said, what's his name, like a Grover, or anybody else that you bring that can remove more buffs. That's going to be helpful. If you do this type of tactic, as you can see, you don't really care about the shield remover, okay? Because it's not a bigger shield in here. Maybe once you get to stage 9, if you cannot keep the whole thing, you know, down, if you cannot keep the damage down and you're tanking through it a bit, then yeah, bringing a shield remover can help. But apart from that, I feel like honestly, I'm not even sure I'm gonna try to push to stage 9 on my own account, because it's not the best dungeon. It's not the greatest, so I'm not gonna farm it too much. But as you can see, it's also pretty, you know, it's pretty fast. Obviously, stage 8 is going to be a lot easier than stage 9, even though it doesn't look like it. From 8 to 9, the difficulty ramps up a ton. Like, you know, you need more accuracy to land your debuffs and remove buffs. You need, you know, more damage, more survivability. So yeah, farming stage 8, I feel like is just about enough for the Grave of Curse. And yeah, I'm going to show you, obviously, after this one's done, I'm going to show you the builds that I have on the people, but as you can see, it's not like I showed you the Grave of Venom 9, this one, because again, it's easier. It goes pretty fast. It goes pretty fast, like 2 minutes 7, I think 3 minutes, something like that, and we're good. And just, if you look at most damage, again, average is the damage dealer, and then the Adventurer, average was just in the team for damage, like I mentioned. So yeah, 3 minutes 33. The other one was like 2:56. You get yourselves the forging materials, you get the gear, and then you can move on with your day. Now, let's just go and have a look at the build. So, if we look at actually, I can just show it in that page. I don't need to go there because it's easier. So, if I look at average, he's just straight up damage, okay? He has this one for attack and some HP. Then he has, I did complete a Gambler set on him, just so he has that chance, you know, to do a little bit more damage from this, true damage from the set, because he does 5 hits on the ultimate. So, you know, he can proc a lot of damage. So, again, this one has, you know, not the best set. Some crit rate, the other 3 ones do not help me at all. This weapon, this one, okay, crit rate, crit damage, and attack. This is a good weapon. Attack percent chest with some crit rate, but again, the bottom 3 stuff they rolled does not help me with anything. Crit damage with no crit rate, just some attack percent. This one's pretty decent. I went with the crit damage here, but again, I would have preferred to have more crit rate, more attack percent. It's whatever I got, that's what I used. Just whatever gave him the most damage. And then this one, I didn't even have a, an attack one, because I only had legendary ones. So I didn't want to use legendary ones. I just wanted to use this, and it was still fine. Then the second one in here is going to be Hexandra. She's your standard healer build, just nothing too special. HP percent, and all the other stuff. Basically, Hexandra's build, so she's kind of the same build that I used during the Ancient Battlefield. It's just this one might be like a, this one might just be a resistant one, resistance chest for Ancient Battlefield, and she would still be just fine. So nothing too special on her. Then when it comes to Irina I built to have the accuracy, because like I said, I want to take advantage of her decrease, you know, for attack penalty 2 and the spelling of the buff on the ultimate. So because of that, she has an accuracy chest, she has an attack rune over here. This one can be accuracy as well if you need enough accuracy. Then more attack in here with accuracy and skill haste. Then crit rate, we're trying to give a little bit of damage from her, even though you saw she did not do that much. Then I kind of completed the set for the skill haste so that she comes back to her ultimate fast enough to always land a decrease attack before the ultimate goes and remove that buff. So obviously check how it is for you with your skill haste. If she doesn't come back to it fast enough, just try and give her more accuracy and more skill haste from your runes, and then go from there, and maybe even complete the sets like I did. One Brotherhood Spirit of only 2 sets, and one of the Wrath of the Troll 2 sets again for the skill haste. She's not in the team for the damage, like I said. If she can do some damage, fine, but she's in here for decreased attack and then removing buffs. Everything else, it's whatever. And then obviously I did use the Crown of the Unclean. If you do have an epic artifact, this one should be the one that you have. This one's basically just in here to give her more accuracy and obviously help us kill the boss faster. Even without this, because you saw how long it took us, like 3 minutes and 30, even without the defense penalty on, you would still be able to beat it. So do not worry if you do not have this one. Just use whatever else gives you the accuracy for her. Then the adventure, again, just basic stuff, more damage as much as I could, but without going overboard, like crit rate gloves, attack percent chest over here, again, some crit damage, some attack, crit rate, like he didn't even roll in the crit damage. Then an attack positive rune, like, okay, this one might be like, oh my god, that's crazy, but even if you have an epic one, should be just fine. And then I just put this one on, but I didn't want to level it because I wanted to show you with not everything maxed, in a sense. Because I do have some people saying like, oh, there's too much gear, that's too intensive, that's all legendary. Well, I'm trying to show stuff in a logical way. So for example, if I show you that you start farming legendary gear from Grave of Venom, by the time you come here, I'm expecting that you have already farmed some legendary gear from there, because that's the most important one. That's why you see a ton of the Grave of Venom set. And then the last one's Jorena. She has more accuracy from this one. Again, with a high chance to remove, to inflict buffs or debuffs, it does not help. I just use this for the accuracy, that's all. Then I do have, again, on her 2 pieces of Brotherhood Spirit and then 2 pieces of Wrath of the Trolls. For her, you kind of want to have accuracy so she can remove the buffs. Okay, so she remove the buffs from the target, from her basic attacks, and then you want to have as much HP as you can to try and make these shields pretty big, okay? She's just level 90, she's 5-star, but I didn't level up anymore. She has HP over here, it's just nothing's impressive. You want to have HP, with HP percent, with attack speed, with accuracy. The attack speed helps, because obviously the faster she does her attack speed, the faster she comes to this basic attack. But apart from that, it's not ideal. And then this one over here, again, I had a 6-star, not a 6-star, a legendary accuracy negative rune, but because I did not have a rare one anymore, or an epic one, I just rolled it to 12 and just stopped it there. As long as it gave me the accuracy that I needed, I was good. But yeah, anyway, this is gonna be it for the video today, guys. I hope this helps you to farm this the Grave of Curse a little bit. Even if you, like I said, even if you can just get to farming stage 7 or 8, that should be just fine. Obviously 9 is ideal because you're always guaranteed to get a drop of these ones after the rate has been increased, from the, let me show you what I'm talking about over here. No reset rules, what is okay. Yeah, so after the legendary forge material drop rate is increased, stages 9 will always give you a piece of gear. But even if you don't get to there, stage 8 is just fine. You get enough materials, you get enough other drops to sell and make enough gold. But yeah, anyway, this is gonna be it for the video today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this is helpful for you to try and help you push your team for the Grave of Curse so that you can farm a little bit of gear, so that you can finish the event from this whole Imperial Shadow recast. Just, farm it, finish your Shadow Dungeon 2, and then move on to the other stuff. But anyway, this is gonna be it for the video today, guys. As always, if you do enjoy my content, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel to see when I upload next, and I'm gonna see you on the next one. Peace, love, take care, everyone. Bye, guys.